It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Conversation is boring.
Gosh, why can I not place that song?
It's Lily Allen. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm pretty sure is what it's called.
As soon as you started singing that, I went, it's not in the afternoon. As it's the size of the
Mashup.
Remix.
Because you can, so you do.
Totally different vibes, I feel.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Blair.
And I'm Kirsten, and we are
Mediocre Content.
And we're back for gross lovey-dovey conversations.
Love episode for
Gross.
Valentine's Day.
I love it. You know, I actually, I'm going to start this way. We're just going to get the vibe set right.
Oh, good. All right.
In fifth grade, I had a teacher.
Oh, God.
We're taking it back, everybody.
Here we go.
In fifth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Post. And the reason I remember, she was my favorite teacher. She was so nice. But she told us this story almost all the time, weirdly. But Valentine's wrote it down, and she told us this story about how when she was little, she had this little boy that she liked, and it was Valentine's Day, and they were out at recess, and she went up to him and was like, "What did you get me for Valentine's Day?" And he looks down, picks up a rock, and hands it to her, and goes, "Happy Valentine's Day."
Oh, no.
And she said, I threw the rock at him, and since then I call it Valentine's stupid day, and I only wear black to celebrate. And if you talk to my mom, since fifth grade, I tried very consistently to just wear black on Valentine's Day. That's my story.
That is such a vibe, and you're right. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah,
oh my
it
God.
is a vibe. Yeah, so it's
love
Valentine's
that.
Stupid Day, and we wear black to celebrate. This is how we do
We
it.
wear black on Valentine's Day, people. Write it down. We're doing it.
Absolutely. And I think about it every year, and I'm like, I wonder what ensemble I'm wearing this year. Oh, wait, just all black. Don't even have to think about it.
This is why teachers are important, you guys.
Oh,
like
so
this
important.
this is good. This is life-changing stuff.
Also, can we talk about really fast as well? I just want to deep dive into this.
Mhm.
So obviously for Valentine's, they always come out with, like, you know, the heart-shaped candies. Like, all the companies will do like
Sure.
their version, right?
Sure.
Can we talk about the fact that sweet tarts have significantly outdone the previous heart conversation chalk crap candy?
Ugh,
that
yes, they're
I
so
could not
gross.
stand them. And so recently I saw that sweet tarts came out with like an actual sweet tart version of the conversation hearts. I picked them up. They are so good, and I cannot tell you how much I despised the chalk ones.
I agree. Like, they were super cute, and I always like wanted them to be good, but
Yes.
they always tasted like garbage.
They had zero flavor.
No,
I don't
none.
know what it was. I don't. Are they the same company that makes like those like they're like the saucers?
Oh, the Necco wafer thing.
Yeah, they tasted like that.
I don't know, but you're absolutely right.
It's gross.
So garbage. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
The idea also that you can send someone a message with the candy that you give them is a little
Yeah.
far-fetched for me.
A little. Yeah. And they also have like these days they don't have like the call me or the love you. It's like
Text me.
yeah, it's like millennial and Gen Z like slang,
Right.
which is interesting. Oh, how the times have changed.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Oh, I love that. Nadira would hate that.
I know.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for bringing that up. That
You're welcome.
it's like the candy corn of Valentine's Day. It's the same.
I have a lot of weird opinions about Valentine's Day, so this is perfect.
I love that, because I honestly will say I love our episode today. I think it's going to be very good. But I also realize now that you brought up the candy thing that I totally left out like the fun parts of Valentine's Day. Most of this is just like a history of Valentine's Day, which is very interesting, I will say.
But
also,
Yeah.
there's a couple other fun things that I want to talk about, but there's
Okay. Yeah.
a lot of there, but there's a lot of information. But I feel
Right.
like we'll spice it up. It's gonna be good.
Oh, I mean, it's the Valentine's episode. If we don't
It's gonna
spice it
get
up,
spicy.
what will we be doing here?
I know, you're
Um,
right.
you want to get us a disclaimer?
Yes.
Okay.
So before we get just know we are not experts on anything as per usual. We did our best to do our research and get a good idea of what this topic is for you guys, but it is not set in stone. So if you need to, please do your best research.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're wrong, please let us know because we want to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously do your own research, do the best you can,
Yeah.
bear with us,
Mm-hmm.
and take us into the good news, Kirsten.
I will. Hopefully, we can make this episode just a little bit cringy. I think spice and cringe are necessary somehow, like together at the same time.
Cringe. Okay.
But one thing I do love is science. So, so my good news is around science.
Shocker.
A shocker. So my good news comes from the UK actually this week. Both of them do. I don't know if you know this, Blair. But
Kirsten.
Britain used to have temperate rainforests. Were you aware?
I'm sorry, what?
I know. When you think Britain, you're like rainforest question mark? I
Well,
did too.
it does rain a lot, so that
It
makes
does.
sense. Like there's a whole thing about how it always rains in London and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but it's not like tropical rain.
No,
You
it's not. It's
know?
cold.
Yeah. But despite that, there used to be along their coast, apparently there used to be temperate rainforests there, and there are a couple of fragments of these previous forests along their Atlantic coast. So this past week, the project launched to actually start expanding these fragments and bringing life back to them. The Wildlife Trusts, which is a conservation charity over in the UK, embarked on a 100-year initiative to protect and enlarge Britain's temperate rainforests. And this is thanks to a £38 million donation from the insurance firm Aviva. Rainforests used to grow along the Atlantic coast, as we said, about 100 years ago or so. But unfortunately, right now, they only cover like less than 1% of the island. But they're obviously a vital carbon sink. And they have tons of biodiversity, which is really important. And with the current climate and nature crises that we're experiencing across the globe, restoring them is a really big piece of their project. And this is similar to, I think we had good news maybe about a month or so ago about Australia, who was also kind of running a conservation initiative. So it's awesome to see that this is happening around the globe, right? Like people are prioritizing this. So
totally.
There was Craig Bennett, he's the chief executive of the Wildlife Trusts that's doing this conservation project. And he said, "These woods are magical and much loved by those who visit and live near them. We're looking forward to working with communities to bring back rainforests along the Atlantic coast." End quote. So that is so cute.
That is. We love that.
Yeah. But we're going to stay in the UK for our second bit of good news as well this week. So, in a week when the International Monetary Fund forecast the UK to be the only major economy to contract this year, there was some good news. The country had a net zero economy that is booming. And if you don't know what a net zero economy means, it means net zero is cutting greenhouse gas emissions so close to zero as possible, and with any remaining emissions being reabsorbed from the atmosphere by the oceans and forests, for example. So you are netting zero. You are not negatively or technically positively impacting the environment around you, which is great. That's according to the report by the Energy and Climate Intelligence Unit, ECIU. And it suggested that zero net efforts are worth about £70 billion to the UK economy, and that green jobs are paying more, the salaries of which are between about £42,000 compared to the national average of about £33,000.
Nice.
Yeah. The report said that firms involved in this energy transaction have brought the jobs and investments to parts of the United Kingdom that were experiencing industrial decline. And it also calculated that about 840,000 jobs are now linked to this net zero industry. So there's a lot of good things happening in this case. You're building the wildlife, you're restoring the rainforests that were there, and you're also, as a country, working to essentially offset any impact that you might have just by living and industrializing, which is just a really great combination together.
I agree.
Yeah. So
It's a good compromise for those of us who like don't want to just be, like off grid, living, with zero waste, but you can live in a society that's active without having to like give up the comforts that you're used to. Yeah,
exactly. It's just a different way of living in some cases, or a more efficient way, so that we're, like you said, living the way that we currently do for the most part, and then having the environment rebound and continue to flourish.
right.
So that's our good news.
Yay. So fun.
Yeah, it is good.
Wonderful. So we'll get into the origins of Valentine's Day. So in the 3rd century, from February 13th to the 15th, the Romans celebrated the feast of Lupercalia. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It is a fertility festival. Shocker. The men sacrificed a goat and a dog because of a legend around one of the gods that is for this particular festival. And then the article said they whipped the women with the hides of the animal they had just slain.
Oh,
right.
Wait a minute.
Right. However, another article said it was a gentle, like, touching to them, and the women liked it because it was believed that this would make them fertile. Also, they did all of these things while they were naked and drunk. So just everybody get on board. Buckle up.
Like this episode really took it. We're like, you know what? The rainforests are blossoming.
Right.
We've got net zero impact also.
So, naked and drunk Romans in the 3rd century.
We're just whipping each other. What a great episode. I'm so excited.
You're welcome. This is so yeah, buckle up everybody. But
okay.
So in addition to all of that happening, the festival included a matchmaking lottery in which young men, the bachelors in the community, drew names out of the eligible women from a jar. But in another article, it said it was a giant urn. So I'm not really sure.
That's kind of a big distinction as well. I would love to know what the discrepancy between these two articles were. They're like, no, they were viciously whipping them. No. Gentle touches. And then they were like, from a basic everyday like pickle jar. And they're like, no. This housed someone's grandma at one time. This was an urn. Okay. Like, what?
So one of the articles was from NPR and the other one was from the History Channel. So everybody, you guys can decide which one you like better.
Absolutely. This is fun.
So once they picked their lady from the urn, then they would have to be together for a whole year. And by be together, I mean like the whole shebang.
What?
Like it's the fertile festival. You guys can deduce all of that.
Oh my.
Yeah. So they had to like be together, and this often ended in marriage because it was like they liked each other enough, I guess. I don't know.
I wonder how many did not end
right.
marriage.
Again, we're not really sure the details because there's clearly some discrepancies on what was going on.
Maybe a few.
But yeah, so a whole year they had to be together year. And oftentimes they got married after that.
Cute.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Eh.
And also I would wonder because like modern birth control didn't exist. So maybe they had to get
Right.
married because kids, but I don't know if
Ooh.
that's the culture of the Romans. I'm not really sure.
So also, I wonder if it stated whether they had to wait, like if they decided they wanted to get married, they would have had to have waited until the end of the year, or if they were just like halfway through the year and they're like, you know what, let's just make this permanent, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
Um but also people didn't live as long back then too. So like
That's
life is
true.
short. You got to do what you got to do. I don't know.
That is fair.
Um so then the Pope in the 5th century got wind of this and was like, y'all need to put some pants on. And like, we're not having this festival anymore. No,
Please
sir.
put your shirt back
No,
on, sir. The
no.
festival is over.
Right. So the ancient Romans may
Mm.
also be responsible for our modern day holiday because the
Of this.
Emperor Claudius II executed 2 men, both with the name Valentine, on February
Oh.
14th of different years in the 3rd century. So
Oh.
their martyrdom was the Catholic Church because at this time Catholicism was not
Mhm.
approved by the Romans. But then by the 5th century, I think Catholicism became like the prominent thing, and the Pope was
Mm.
like, we're not
Yeah.
doing this anymore. And then St. Valentine's Day became a thing on February 14th.
Uh, do we feel like Valentine was just a popular name back then and it's all coincidence? Like, what if it was like St. Harry's Day and it was
Or
still
Steve.
St. Steve's Day? Like, we kind of lucked out with Valentine. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree. It's a very romantic sounding
It is.
word, but I also think, and we'll get to this, Shakespeare and Chaucer had a huge role in
Uh,
like making this what it was. So
that's probably true.
moving on some years in the future, February
Mm.
14th was the beginning of the birds' mating season. So
Ah.
that's when the notion really started that St.
Mhm.
Valentine's Day should be a romantic
Sure.
holiday, like, and this was particularly popular in what is now France and England.
Not surprising.
And in the Middle Ages, written Valentines, so like
Mhm.
the handmade paper cards, heart-shaped things were most popular to give loved ones. And Chaucer and Shakespeare, like I just said, played large roles in like romanticizing the holiday. They wrote poetry, and like you guys have all read Romeo and Juliet because you were forced
Mhm.
to in high school. Like obviously there's some romanticism there. So
Do you think that they were forced to do that?
no.
No?
No, I think Valentine's Day was already a thing before Shakespeare
Okay.
and Chaucer like wrote about it.
Huh.
I think they just made it like more permanent and like
Interesting.
played it up more. The
Okay.
other thing is, I'm pretty sure I remember reading, this is not something I researched, but I remember
Mhm.
reading somewhere that one of the English monarchs really loved Valentine's Day and like had heart-shaped hair or something like that.
Oh,
Um
I don't know
Maybe
about
it was
that.
like one of the Elizabeths
I mean,
a
it
long
wouldn't
time
surprise
ago.
me. Big hair was
I
in.
Yeah, but it was really big with the monarchs, I believe,
Okay.
Valentine's Day. So it
Well,
was like
because they could probably afford to do a lot of that
right. And they
stuff.
knew how to read and write before everybody else did
Right.
too. So there's that.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say that's probably the cause. Yeah.
So
Okay.
moving on to more time in the future, the
Mm-hmm.
Industrial Revolution brought about mass produced Valentine's Day cards. And in 1913, Hallmark was started in City, Missouri.
Cute.
And it changed the holiday as we know it forever, aka
Into e-commerce and other commercials.
yeah. So aka Hallmark holiday is what
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is now. And today, according to the Greeting Card Association, an
Hmm.
estimated 145 million Valentine's Day cards are sent each year, making Valentine's Day the second largest card sending holiday of the year, second only to Christmas.
And I would say that fact is not as aggressive to me as the fact that there is a greeting card association. if
You're
I
so
had to
right.
if
You're
I had to
so right.
scale the surprise, it's probably that one. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I would love to work at the Greeting Card
Heck
Association. I'm sure it's
yeah.
great to live there, or
You
not to
know,
live there, to like work there.
I think it's interesting that it clearly it has its roots in trying to find love or explaining love, and you're using nature to guide your love because
Mm-hmm.
the birds are made in you know what, all those. And then it's kind of like Hallmark came in and was just like, what about profit though?
What about
What
presents? We
about
could do
presents?
presents.
You know what would be great for this? If you bought somebody. Let's just make it a material situation.
Yes. Capitalism at its finest, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
my goodness. But you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I would say there's a lot of cute things that have come out of that too, though.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
you know, it's kind of romantic when you see like acts of service that maybe involve some kind of payment, like, oh my gosh, I booked us an experience at etc. And it's not so
Yeah.
much like, oh, I bought you a teddy bear, you know?
I Yes.
Yeah.
I have a problem with Valentine's Day because I am one of those people who was like, no, it's fine. Like, it's just a
Right.
Hallmark holiday.
It's
I
just a
don't
holiday.
care. But
Yeah.
then, like, on the day, I'm like, I really want something for Valentine's Day. And nobody got me anything. And in my,
That is women.
I, I self sabotage myself the whole
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
The
That's
whole
also
time.
women.
It's awful. It's so bad. And
Yeah.
like the thing is, I remember in school, like very
Mm-hmm.
vividly, you would
Mm.
make like the mailbox out of a cereal
Yes.
box or whatever, and
Yes.
everyone would get their own Valentines, and I would like pick out the Valentines of the selected, like let's say we got like Scooby-Doo Valentines or whatever it was, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd pick out the one that sounded like the most romantic and give to the boy that I like, and he would have
Yes.
no idea. Like
No clue.
there was no clue, but it made me feel like I was doing something
Yes.
with that.
Doing
Like
the
I was
most.
moving mountains
You were.
with that
Uh,
statement.
And honestly, as a kid, I distinctly remember it mattered so much which Valentines you chose, like which characters you chose,
Yes.
which franchise it was from. Like it could not miss, or you would like you wouldn't
Right.
be standing up to everybody else who maybe included candy with theirs or had special stickers or little tattoos and like you know,
Yes.
like it was
Yes.
very methodical as a child.
Yes. And then there was like the holographic ones
Oh my
versus the ones
gosh.
with the little tattoos, or the ones that have like a
Yes.
candy lollipop insert, or
Mm-hmm.
like it,
It
you were
mattered.
saying something with your Valentines,
Absolutely.
whether you knew it or not. It was,
Now,
yeah.
there is one thing that we did not do. I think some parents, I mean, it's expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even back
Sure.
then it was expensive because the little boxes only had like maybe 10 to 20. And if your class had like 30 kids in it, like you, you really
Which
had to
they
step
all
up, which
did.
they all did. So, but I remember distinctly some of the parents would bring in like mini Valentine's goodie bags. That was
Mm-hmm.
like elite status.
Elite
Okay.
status, for sure. For sure. And it had like the Smarties and the
Oh, yeah.
heart-shaped lollipop and like
Pencils.
the pink Laffy Taffies.
Ugh.
Yeah. Pencils, erasers. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
often the glitter pencils, which I loved
Oh
so
my God.
much.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole, but
No, this is good because yeah, it's good. Yeah. Valentine's Day to me is like too much pressure. It like stresses me out.
yeah, it is. As an adult, I look at it, and again, I was talking to somebody. I don't know who I was talking to about this. Maybe it was one of our friends, but they were like, "Oh, are you doing something for Valentine's Day?" I was like, "No, probably not. It's just another day." And they're like, "Oh, but it's like so romantic, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, but I kind of feel like I want to feel that way every day with my partner, right?
Right.
Like I want that experience all the time. Not that it has to be like va va voom and like super expensive and all that stuff, but like
Tyler,
I
Tyler, you're listening to this, right? You got it.
he does not, so
Okay.
this is kind of convenient. But
Oh no.
but but truly, it's more just like I want to always feel that way about my partner and not give it a day to just write off. Like, oh, we did
Yeah.
that, done. Let's move on to like the 15th. You know what I mean?
Right. Which I
Yeah.
mean, arguably the 15th is the best day because that's the discount
Discount
chocolate
candy.
day. Yes.
But I just don't want it to be superficial. I think that's my fear is I think a lot of people get really tied into it. And it is special.
Yeah.
Like if you do something cute and that's like the one day you all have to do really elaborate things together, that's totally reasonable and like live it up. Like
Yeah.
absolutely. But I just don't want it tied to just one day, I guess, is my
Right.
fear, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's just it's like all worked up in my head. Like I could be totally fine like,
Yeah.
up until the 14th. I'm like
Mhm.
totally fine. Like, yeah, we have like a trip coming up in March anyway. Like, I don't
Mhm.
really want to like spend extra money, blah, blah, blah. Chris's birthday is at the end of February. So like, you
Exactly.
know, we have a lot going on for that. And
Yeah.
it's just like, but then on the 14th, it just takes one coworker to be like, my husband got me this and he's just the best and I love him so much. And I'm like, I hate this holiday so much. And then I'm like, well, why didn't my husband get me anything? Because he hates me. He doesn't love me at all. Like it's
Off the
that
deep
it's just
end.
I know, just like a total
Yeah.
train wreck the whole time.
And I get it. Yeah. No, it makes for and everybody is different too. So some people just like it's just another day, or some
Yeah.
people are living it up as a single, and that's also acceptable. Treat yourself if
Yes.
you are living as a single. Always treat yourself.
That's right. That's right.
Single and maybe not mingling, and that's acceptable.
It's crazy. Valentine's
um,
Day is wild.
so with all of that, would you like to give them a break?
Yeah, let's give them a break and we'll come back.
Sounds good.
Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, Blair.
Do you have cats?
Why, yes, I do.
Then you should play mediocre content for your cats.
And why is that?
Because it has been shown to soothe cats and reduce hairballs.
Really?
Yes, in fact, I play mediocre content for my cats too. Mediocre content is for all pets.
That's so great to know. I will play mediocre content for my cats right now.
You should. Everyone should listen to mediocre content with their pets today.
Mediocre content has not been shown to reduce hairballs or soothe any animals of any species. In fact, it's very probable to create the exact opposite effect. Please use caution while exposing your furry friends to mediocre content. It's also pretty dodgy for humans, so listen at your own risk. Mediocre content is not responsible for any negative effects of podcast listening.
Welcome back, guys. We're going to be talking about Cupid. Who is he and why do we like him? Anyway.
Also though, Blair and I were discussing prior to starting the second half, there was something that she wanted to add in to the first half, but for some reason we can't jog her memory to
I can't remember. I don't know.
So she might remember in the middle of this, in which case she'll just blast it into the universe.
Yes.
So
we'll
discuss.
It's going to be a random interruption if I remember. I don't think I will, but we'll see what happens. All right. So who is Cupid? The pagans got some of their ideas to stick because Cupid originated from Greek mythology.
Okay.
Well, Roman and Greek mythology, I guess I should say.
Right.
So, and Cupid really is the only thing because St. Valentine's Day is very much a Catholic thing. So Cupid kind of creeped in there from some of the pagan traditions. So
okay.
Cupid is often portrayed on Valentine's Day cards as a naked cherub baby launching arrows of love at unsuspecting lovers.
Why
but
is
the
everything naked?
You know what? Valentine's Day is weird. I don't know. There's like the wholesome Hallmark Valentine's Day. And then there's like the other Valentine's Day.
The 3rd century Valentine's Day.
Correct. But so the Roman god Cupid has his roots in Greek mythology as the Greek god of love, Eros. Accounts of his birth vary. Some say he is the son of Nyx and Ebrius. Others of Aphrodite and Ares, which I think that's the one that's the most popular. I like that one the best.
Sense also.
I agree.
Aphrodite, isn't she like
she's the goddess of love?
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so others suggest he is the son of Iris and Zephyrus, or others even Aphrodite and Zeus, which would have been both his father and grandfather, which is creepy.
Greek mythology in general, when it comes to all these gods and goddesses, is automatically
there's a lot going on.
Creepy.
Yeah. According to the Greek archaic, Eros was a handsome immortal who played with the motions of gods and men, using golden arrows to incite love and lead in ones to sow aversion, which basically means do things that they wouldn't normally do. It wasn't until the Hellenistic period, which is the 3 centuries of Greek history between the death of Alexander the Great and the rise of Augustus in Rome, that he began to be portrayed as the mischievous, chubby child he would be on Valentine's Day cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's your little history on the naked baby.
Oh, geez. I wish somebody would just put some clothes on this episode.
You know, it's Valentine's Day, Kirsten.
Someone clothe the dang thing. My goodness.
I can't help you. This is what it is.
Creepy.
So now I want to go into a couple of alternatives for Valentine's Day for those of us who do not celebrate or choose to wear black on Valentine's Day, which honestly is such a power move. I love that so much.
Gosh, start it. You'll never feel the same.
It'll love it. Like mourning.
Yeah, we're in mourning for
mourning. Love. I love it so much. All right. So first and foremost, we have Galentine's Day, which originated on an episode of Parks and Rec season 2, episode 16. And it has grown into a national movement where this is technically it's not Valentine's Day. It's the 13th, which is a national day to celebrate your female friendships in your life.
Oh, that's so
yeah.
cute.
Yeah. And so like in the episode, Amy Poehler's character, Leslie Knope, gathers all of her girlfriends together and they all have brunch and talk about boys and they get gifts and stuff. It's fun.
That is a tradition I would like to start immediately.
Agreed. Yes. So
I love your note though about, can I say it?
Yes, you say it.
It says uteruses before deuteruses.
But I also realized after I typed that you don't have to be a woman. You do not have to have a uterus. So just be aware of that. But this is
though, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's cute. I like that.
Yeah. So that was really good. And then Anna Howard Shaw Day, which is February 14th, but made popular by 30 Rock episode 13, season 4, where Liz Lemon, the main character played by Tina Fey, she is single during Valentine's Day and is not having a great day. So she declares it to be Anna Howard Shaw Day. And Anna Howard Shaw, for those who don't know, I didn't know before this, was a leader in the American Women's Suffrage Association and played a huge part in organizing the suffrage movement to lobby Congress for women's rights to vote in the early 1900s. She has a theology degree, or she had a theology degree from Boston University and a medical degree from Boston University School of Medicine.
Wow.
Yes. So the joke, I guess, is that she's promoting a suffrage leader instead of Valentine's because she's single and miserable. And I thought it was a great joke.
I did not catch that. I thought she was naming it after herself. Like, no, this is my day. I missed the jump there for some reason.
That's right.
But if you want to celebrate yourself, just call it you day.
That's right. But yeah, so the whole episode, she's just getting like joked on by her coworkers because she doesn't have any plans for Valentine's Day and everyone around her is in love and it's like a whole thing. And she's like, a happy Anna Howard Shaw Day to you all. And then just like storms out. It's great.
See, that's the kind of thing that would bother me. And maybe that's why I'm on the like, meh, it's just a day. Like, it's cute, but also not realistic. I don't know.
When I used to work at Edible Arrangements and Valentine's Day was like the day. Like we were so I know. It was a brief time in my life. A lot of chocolate covered strawberries.
Delicious though.
I know. But yeah, Valentine's Day was like the day where like everyone would come in. We would be so busy. We would work like 2 days of 12 hours. Jeez. Like just to get prepared for all of the stuff, all the orders and everything. And then on the day of, it was just wild. There's like lines out the door, like people coming in to get their last minute, like whatever. And it's wild.
That is actually the example that I needed to be like, no, I don't need that. You know what I need? Just a constant, beautiful relationship. All right.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's stressful either way because I just want every day to be like Valentine's Day and I just want my partner to love me, which is great and wonderful, but also like sometimes it's, life is hard.
No, I get it. Absolutely.
And then the other way, it's like everything rides on one day, and Valentine's Day is the one day where you show the person that you love them, and you have to do it right or they'll hate you forever. And that's
There's a lot of
also
pressure.
very difficult. Some people get, I remember what I was going to ask you. Oh my God. It's a miracle.
It is a miracle. Valentine's miracle.
How do you feel about people getting married on Valentine's Day?
Oh, gross. I hate that that's my initial reaction. Let me rephrase. I will recalculate. If you choose to do that, good for you. It's clearly special and means something to you, and that's beautiful and that's wonderful, and you get to celebrate it together. However, you now have picked the most expensive holiday to ever want to celebrate your anniversary again ever. Which choices were made? I just don't think that's very romantic, but that's opinionated.
I agree with you. I would never. I think getting married on a holiday
it's too much.
Not great. Yeah, it's too much. But for those of you who are out there who got married on Valentine's Day, like, good for you. Right. I hope it's a romantic and lovely time.
Yeah.
Also, ladies, did you secretly get married on Valentine's Day so your husband would never forget? Like, is that the strategy we're going?
For any holiday, for that matter. And that's honestly, I think that's the thing. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's Valentine's Day. I feel the same about whether you've gotten married on any major holiday, honestly.
Right.
Like, it's just expensive. I imagine everybody, and if you ever have to celebrate it on your anniversary, like, that's just really difficult. And then also, to your point, like, don't make it easy. Like, my goodness, pick some ours is just completely arbitrary.
Kirsten said, I want you to work to remember my anniversary with you.
I want you to want it. But anyway, it's, to each their own. I'm not a huge fan of it. And that's not just Valentine's. I would like to reiterate, it is just any holiday that somebody gets married on.
I get that. Yeah. And I feel the same way. Yeah. I also, it's just, there's a lot happening, but I'll
backtrack maybe just one and say that as a kid going through my emo phase, the one thing that I did want to do that I think everybody wanted to do in that phase was get married on Halloween, because that's grungy and edgy.
First of all, getting married on Halloween is the best. Would be the best.
I think so too. Like, if you did have to choose a holiday, pick that one.
Oh, totally. Also, if you're getting married on Halloween and you're having a boring ass, like, regularly people dressed wedding and not letting people get dressed up for your wedding, like, in costume, I'm not coming. I'm not coming.
Here's the plan I was going to have, right? So this is deep dive into teenager Kirsten. Here we go. The plan I had was that for the ceremony, everyone was going to be in beautiful black silk gowns for the bridesmaids.
Yes.
And of course, the men were going to be in lovely velvet burgundy suits, because that's appropriate.
Correct.
And the attire was just going to be dark and grungy, right?
Yes.
Very autumnal, very lots of black silk velvets, those kinds of textures. Okay.
Yes.
However, for the reception, that was party time. Everyone was going to dress up into their best costumes, and we were just going to party it up. That was the vibe I was going for. So that all the photos came out
let me enlighten you on what her wedding actually was, because it's the literal exact opposite of that.
It is the exact
I was put not in black silk. I was put in a pink tulle dress and almost
with glitter kids
and glitter kids, and almost made to wear cowgirl boots. So
you got off easy with the glitter kids.
I know, and I thank God every day.
There was lace. There was glitter. My hair was in a literal bow. Like, she made my hair into a bow.
Yes, it was girly. It was like My Little Pony vomited everywhere. It was
my gosh.
Like, in like the best way. I'm not saying, I thought your wedding was very beautiful. I'm not shitting on it at all. Like, I think that's fine. Wonderful.
I had a horse-drawn carriage. So
exactly. Exactly. It was like Cinderella at a farm. It was great.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was great.
But I mean,
But-
black silk versus pink tulle.
Yeah.
I feel like I would choose the black silk, but that's just me.
But that's great. Honestly, if I could have 2 weddings. If I could have 2 weddings. Mine was also during the summer. Like mine is in June. So it made less sense
Right.
to do it. But if I had a do-over, if we were doing like a what do they call it? Like a renewal of vowels, perhaps.
Yes.
I said vowels. A renewal of
did.
A's, E, I, O's, and U's.
I owe
Then
you.
I owe you. And then I would do a Halloween one and do it all over again. Yeah.
I mean, same. I agree. Like we had to get married in April because we were moving shortly after that.
Yes. Your wedding was so cute though.
I loved my wedding. I just if I had to do it again, I would definitely do it like in fall or winter though.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's fair. I think sometimes you don't get tons of choices. And also everybody wants to get married in like the key months, right? So like
Right.
there's also expenses to be concerned about, and the date that we chose was not as expensive, which sounds so silly. Weddings are
Yeah.
another whole thing that drive me bananas, but like we're not gonna get into it. But
Yeah, we should not do that. But
we should make an episode on it though.
We should. We'll do a
Yeah.
weddings tips from people who have been married for a while.
Yes, exactly. But yeah. So that's my take.
Okay, cool. I like it. I'm glad I remember what I was going to ask.
I'm glad you did too.
That was wonderful. So the other unconventional Valentine's Day is Singles Awareness Day, aka SAD. And my comment that I wrote on here, which I firmly believe, is I feel like people made this up in middle school, and some people still haven't like gotten over it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm celebrating SAD, and you're like, what is that? And they're like, Singles Awareness Day, and I'm like, oh my god, get over it already.
I think that's, so some people get sad at being single, and that's fine. But I think it needs to be more supported that it's okay to not be sad if you're single.
Agreed.
If you are single and loving it, good for you. Like that is fantastic. That is a good vibe. But if you're single and unhappy, that's also fine. Like I understand you want to have that partner, you want to have that life partner. I get it. But for those that don't even be sad. Throw a party for yourself. Right. You are fabulous.
Right. Absolutely. And I know this is coming from 2 married people.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed my time being single.
Yeah.
It was not like I felt like I was able to, do whatever I wanted to do. Not that I can't do that now, but it's just like
different.
It's different. And
yeah.
It's a fun time to like learn who you are. And it's a good I think everyone should spend some time in their life single. I think that's important.
Yeah, I think it is too. And if you want to be part of Singles Awareness Day, that's fine, but don't feel obligated if you're just happy living your life as a single.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you.
Yes.
Love yourself.
Exactly, because we love you.
That's right. So what else? Do you have anything else about Valentine's Day that you want to talk about?
Honestly, I'm kind of loved out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is a lot. I think it's all good stuff. Like it's cute to like know the history, except for the 3rd century version. Like we could maybe cut that out and like never return to it again.
Don't hate on their culture.
I'm really wrapped up in it. Like
you are hung up on that.
I feel like that goes down a different style of podcast really fast.
Don't worry. The Pope okay. In the 5th century, the Pope came in and was like, it's fine. Don't do it anymore.
Cut it out. Put some clothes on. I remember this TikTok recently, or maybe not even recently, like when TikTok first started, and there's that little girl who refuses to put her pants on, and her mom's like, you need to put your pants on. She's like, no. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah. I understand. All right. Well, then I would just like to remind everyone, and this is kind of what we've been saying the whole time, that Valentine's Day is just like any other holiday, and you should spend it with people you love.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't have to be the most romantic day of the year. And sometimes that's too much pressure, and that's okay.
And also, if you are the person that you love solely in your life at the moment, live it out for yourself, because that's important.
Yes. And that's what we're going to leave you with for this
Yes.
Valentine's Day episode. And that will wrap us up for today. If you can feel free to send us any questions, comments, episode topic suggestions.
Or Valentines. Send
Or
us a card.
Valentines. Yeah. At mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a tweet at mediocre squawks, or follow us on Instagram at mediocre content podcast for the dank memes that aren't, I mean, it's not really that serious, but
We're
anyway.
working on it.
Yeah. We will see you next week with another topic of some kind.
See you then.
Cheers.
Cheers.